Hi, everyone. Uh, a little bit of exceptional live tonight because I was already protesting for 2 hours in the city, but I got this amazing opportunity to have a guest on my channel to help me do some word clearing on this document that I've received from one of my sources. So Nora is gonna join me.
Hey,
Hey, hey.
of course, I'm chewing nuts now, so that's fun and classy. Hello.
Well, yeah, well, that's fine.
It's the ASMR word clearing channel.
Yeah, I can give a little bit of a background in the meantime, so you get to chew whatever.
Oh no, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just give a little bit of a background. I have few people have been contacting me since I started the activism in Denmark, and maybe it's because I'm located here, then the people that have experiences from Denmark are more likely to be in touch with me.
Yeah.
Instead of someone in the States, for example. And I've got this document, which is actually not written by the person who I got it from.
Oh,
yes.
Very
And
exciting.
it's yes, exactly. And it's a little bit old, but it's from 2015, and I think it's
Okay.
kind of interesting document in the way that it kind of shows what kind of situation people are putting when they leave the Sea Org. And there's a lot of different kind of terminology, which is, probably very familiar to you because you're an ex-Scientologist, and I can definitely get the gist of the email itself. But I kind of wanted to go through it with you, just so you could, explain a little bit more of what's going on over here, and also maybe what's going on in the mind of this person when they've been writing this letter.
Right.
So, I'll just share it on the screen, and then let's hope that you can see it now. Because we had some zooming issues over here. Yeah. So I'll just, so we can just start from the beginning. It's like 3 pages long.
Okay. So we've got International Justice Chief, and then of course we're redacting the person's name there.
Yeah.
And this isn't even that old. This is 9 years old. So back from July 15th, 2015. So completed staff work, or known as a CSW, is this is a petition. It's a Scientological petition for anything. And that's why he puts there meaning regarding my FL, my freeloader bill. So a freeloader bill is the supposed debt that any staff or Sea Org member has accumulated from the training and processing that they do while learning their job, or just, doing that thing, going up the bridge, which you're supposed to be guaranteed as, a Sea Org member, or, what do you call it? Or a staff member, right? So everything is very formal. No matter who you're writing to, if it's a man or woman, it's always sir. So dear sir, situation. So you're going to have situation, data, and then conclusion. Okay, so the situation. I received the freeloader bill from Treasury, CLLEU, which is the Continental Liaison Office.
And it's located here in Denmark.
Right, in Copenhagen. As part of my offload. Offload meaning you left. Your firing process.
Yes.
I've reviewed it, and I do not agree with it. As for me, it's not fair. Here are the specifics. This is a very bold statement. I'm just going to say that straight out front. I don't agree with it. So having a disagreement in Scientology generally means that you have a lot of crimes. Like that's how they're going to look at it. You can't disagree with things. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of what he says.
Yes. Okay. Now it's starting to work. Okay. So
now you just have to scroll it like with your. There you go. Got it.
Go. Okay. So let's look at the situation first before we go to the data.
Exactly. In the freeloader bill, I get the following charged: 56,840. What kronen is the?
Yeah, it's Danish kroners. Yes,
Danish kroners. Okay, which is equivalent to $8,585 for 32 and a half hours of objective processes that I received in 2012 from the QualSec OSA EU. Okay, so he did objectives, which is the first thing you do right after the PRF. Okay, and 32 hours PS is a lot of hours of doing that. Now, normally, though, This is done on a co-audit basis, especially when people are on staff, right? So the fact that he was receiving that from the OSA Qualsec, the qualification secretary, doesn't really make sense that he would be receiving that unless it was part of like a program for his post, for his job. But anyway,
think that will open up to you later on.
Look, I'm already in the zone. Okay.
Yes.
So then about 1,200 kroners, $182 for basics courses done in the past 2 years. Specifically, I don't agree to the auditing I'm being charged with for the following reasons. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
The data.
Now we have the data. Yes.
So it's not so longevity, it's SO, meaning Sea Org. But like most people read that, be like, that's not a complete sentence.
Yeah.
I've served in this, right? I've served in the Sea Org for 20 years. Holy shit. So that means he joined in 1995.
Yeah.
Okay.
The longer you read it, the more sorry you start to feel for this person, to be honest.
Yeah. I've served in the Sea Org for 20 years. I've always worked and fairly exchanged in any post or position I've been in. Evidence is in my production record, which I'm attaching. Just to name one, I have been carrying on the ADO recovery project. So that's the addresso, meaning that they go through the thousands and tens of thousands every time somebody comes into an org and does a little tour or gets they get them to sign something to somehow give over personal information that they've now kept in every org since 1950, since the inception. That's the addresso. So they've had to do several projects of combining names because one person could have like 6 different folders in there because they, went to this event and filled something out and then they were over here at this org, right? So this has been a massive project because it's never been digitized, guys. This is all paper.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
ridiculous.
they are still doing this filing of, what is it called? It's not called archiving. It's called
collating.
Yes. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, as the in charge, I see from 2007 to 2012, recovering thousands of people back on the bridge, which have resulted in a lot of income for different publications orgs, advanced organizations, flag service organization, and class 5 orgs. I got several acknowledgments for this, which are in my ethics folders. So this was part of a project that was actually started in 1997, where they had, we had a list like this big, to call people who at one time had done Scientology and like literally hadn't done Scientology since, right? So some of these people hadn't been seen since the 80s or 70s. And here we are calling them. Right. And people would like scream at you. They'd be like, how did you get this number? They were so mad. I think I got a couple people to come back in. They were like, I didn't think you even cared anymore. I was like, I care. Yeah.
So this is like he's been doing
that.
Or she has been doing a lot of work.
Yeah. Prior to the above, I was part of the New Era Warehouse Renos project and the in charge of the logistics. And right after that, I was the second of the Advanced Organization St. Hill Europe Central Files Folder Project changeout. Okay, so why I'm laughing is that a person like this, is in the C organization known as a basement person. Right. This is a person, the basement people are all administrative people. And they do like important work. They keep all the files together. They do all that stuff. However, generally speaking, and sir or madam, if you're watching this and you're watching me read this, I want you to understand, I mean this with love. They were not deemed by the administration as being, oh crap. We're going to do this quick because I forgot I have to take my kid to the doctor.
Oh dear.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. That's all right. Come home. That's all right. All right. That's okay. I'll talk faster. But they were deemed not good looking enough to be on public lines, or not like high enough up the bridge, or not like, appropriate. in some way, because Scientology is very elitist. If you are fat, if you aren't like really kind of, pleasant to look at, you'll be put on jobs like this, especially if you're not higher up on the bridge. And this indicates that this guy got this auditing later, right? After, after 20 years, he finally made it to objectives, which is sad, which means he was put on these menial tasks all the time, just filing, collating in the darkness of the basement, no windows, dealing with file folders and boxes. Like that makes me sad, just because, these are the people who are often like, they just nobody cares. Like literally. Nobody cares.
And he clearly seems to be proud of what he's achieved.
Well, in his viewpoint, he's the key terminal in implementing the Golden Age of Knowledge strategy for Europe. But that's also what he's told. It's like, without you filing these papers, the Golden Age of Knowledge wouldn't happen, right? Like everyone's told whatever they need to hear in order to think that their job is vital to saving, the literal planet Earth, right? Yeah. So it is, it's bad. Yeah. It's bad. Yeah. Okay. So I've also worked for many years in the Office of Special Affairs in Europe, and I've held international and external posts contributing to the expansion of the EU continent. The data in this is my production record. Investaid, so this is the associate investigator inside of Office of Special Affairs Europe, who has been one of my seniors, could also be asked to verify the validity of my data. So this is an OSA guy who was in charge of confidentially typed files. He wasn't just a regular basement guy. He was an OSA basement person. Yeah. Right? Okay. All right, go ahead and scroll. What else have we got?
So, bridge steps done in the Sea Org.
Now what? Don't worry. If somebody wants to take the name Zero Dark Nora and whatever, I don't care. If they're in here to insult me, it's not going to distract me in work. But thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I'm so scared. Anyway, moving on.
But it doesn't. I think it's the name is offensive, but
I agree. I agree the name is offensive. It's just meant to be a distraction, guys. Remember my thing yesterday? Distract, disperse, destroy. Like, I'm not distracted.
Now they come. Let's just ignore the chat completely now. Let's just focus on this. Yeah.
Guys, I'm not single. I'm married. I don't know. See, this is the problem. Tony's trolls believe everything that he says. And like he's a chronic liar. I've been married now for 7 years, but thank you. Thanks. Happy anniversary to my wife. Okay. Yes. I have served CLO EU for 17 years during this time. The only bridge steps auditing I got by CLU. Okay, so in 17 years, guys, these are the things that he was rewarded with. Okay, for all of this hard work, working 10, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah. About an intensive to complete my grade 0. This was delivered by, so that's back in 2006, and the 32 and a half hours of objectives in 2012, before the new Golden Age of Tech. I was a part of the original Golden Age of Tech. Okay, in 1996. And then in like 2013, they were like, hot dog, all those people have now left Scientology and they're all bitching about it. We got to come up with a new Golden Age of Tech, right? And which I'm being charged of. So the rest of my bridge was Purif and Milano org, paid for by myself in 1995. Old objectives up to ARC Straightwire, delivered by my sister in 1998 when she was at the AOSH, the St. Hill in Europe. She was an intern, so that was free in 2004. Happiness Rundown, which is a whole rundown on every precept of the way to happiness, given by an Italian mission trainee in summer 2014 who was on academy training in EU at the St. Hill there, and delivered to me the Happiness Rundown as part of his check sheet requirement for course completion. So again, free auditing.
So he's been basically like, he or she has been like a guinea pig for
basically. They've gotten student auditing only, and then the one time they got trained auditing, they want you to pay it back, right? Objectives. Additionally, I have from the CS that I have to redo my Purif and Sunshine Rundown.
Yes.
Which means they're saying he's not clear. Okay. The objectives for sure have to be reviewed and processed, which are unflat and have to be redone. And so it is not a completed grade chart action. Each one, it gets reviewed. There is that's in Inspector General Network Bulletin that's written by like COB, by David Miscavige or someone in RTC.
You kind of understand why I need help with this.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a bunch of gobbledygook. 54 about this matter. Even people who did objectives twice get it reviewed and have to be reviewed. It's per this policy, Inspector General Network Bulletin 54, 54-1, 54-2, 54-3, which cover the Sunshine Rundown delivery. I do consider my 17 years of service in the Continental Liaison Office, Europe, worth the auditing I got as exchange. Backlog pays. Oh, this person is spicy.
Yeah.
I love them.
This is very spicy. Yeah,
I love it.
Reason why I want to bring this out, because this will make some people very upset, I think.
Oh my God, yeah. Since I am Continental Liaison Office EU staff, I never received my full staff pay. Without going into full specifics of those 17 years, let's just take the past 10 years. Like, I'll forgive you 7 years. Yeah. Let's just take the past decade where I've been getting quarter pay.
Yeah.
100 kroners. Guys, do you remember earlier when it said 1,200 kroners was like $82? So what's 100 kroners? Like
it's
$10?
Like, it's about $13, $14.
Okay.
Roughly.
That's like 13 American dollars for the American people watch. Like it's RPF level pay. Like that's, I was getting quarter pay while I was on the RPF.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the standard for this guy for 10 years.
Right. Instead of the 400, which is like equivalent of the 50. Right. Of course, I realize that we were cause over our pay. God, he's fully in still, this person. We were cause over our pay, and I'm not blaming anyone for this condition. However, in the future, if the CLO income goes better and conditions also go better, I'm sure that backlog pay should and could be given to each CLO staff. I'm dying because I cannot tell you the number of weeks we just got no pay. Right. Half pay, no pay. Even when I was on the RPF, sometimes they would give us half pay. On the RPF, you're already getting quarter pay. So that means you would get half of that. So instead of getting your $1,250, you would get $625.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never, guys, never in the history of this organization has anyone gotten back pay ever. Never.
But here's hoping.
Right. I mean, like when I wrote a letter similar to this to the Treasury Department at Celebrity Center, I did a calculation, right? That I had worked, I wasn't going to count the RPF years, right? So I was just going to count 5 years of working at Celebrity Center, right? So it's 365 times 5. That's 1,825 days. Now, at the time, we were working basically 7 days a week, right? So I said, listen, I'm not even going to charge you like for the full 80 hours that we were really working a week. So no overtime. I just want like minimum wage, which at the time was like $7.70. That was federal minimum wage, right? So times the $7.70 times 60 hours a week. Okay. That total is $843,150. Now, in those 5 years, guys, I never made more than $2,000. Right. So I basically was like, y'all owe me money if we're just going by minimum wage. Okay. Yeah. Like, let's not start. Don't come for me. Oh, and then I minused it because they said I owed them $35,000, 230, so minus 35, 230. So they owed me 807,000. They were like, no, they were pissed. But basically it's like, I get this guy's vibe because it's like you work every single day and he meant it. It wasn't like he was just calling it in, right? Like this guy meant it. He's dedicated. He wanted to clear the planet. He has production records. He's got commendations. He's like, bro, I did my part. Y'all didn't even pay me when you were supposed to pay me. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So if I make I want to see his calculations though. So if I make the calculations of the past 10 years and how much backlog pays I should be getting, then I say 300 kroners times 54 weeks times 10 years, right, is 162,000.
So that's like $25,000.
Right.
Mm.
This is 3 times the amount for the auditing I'm being charged, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Here again, same argument. Mm. Here again, I don't feel to be out exchange with the CLO, with the auditing I got. Okay, let's see this. I got to see this conclusion here.
This person will come up also with the same example, as you were kind of given before. Yes.
Right. Also, if I take, for example, an average low-paid job in the WOG world, which is $1,000 and we multiply it for the 4 years I served at CLO EHU, which would be $204,000, that would have that I would have earned if I was working outside. This figurative amount is what instead I have given towards the Sea Org and my third and fourth dynamics in exchange for the services I got. Good. Know your value. Know your value. Also, I want to add that my medical and dental treatment that I've had to do since I joined the Sea Org was paid with the help of other sources, my family or my Sea Org bonuses. Yeah, guys, they don't cover your dental. They don't cover your, they don't cover any medical. They got none of that. None.
Yeah.
Since CLO could not afford it. Jesus. They don't got no money for your teeth, y'all. Too bad.
Yeah, I truly feel so sorry for this person. It kind of hurts me
I mean, this is though, but Miriam, this is the typical Sea Org member story. Okay. I worked with a woman. She was in her 60s. And we were all in like our department meeting, right? So it was Department 12 where we worked in the course rooms. And this one was the head of the administrative course room. She was training people on the green volumes, how to be an executive and all this kind of stuff. Now, people loved her as a supervisor. She had a lot of personal quirks. She smoked way too much. Like every moment she was smoking when she wasn't in the course room. So she didn't, like a lot of cigarette breath, a lot of that stuff, kind of thing. So one day, she said to the department head, listen, I need to go to the doctor. And the department head was like, yeah, that's just other fish to fry right now. Like, we don't have time for that. We don't have time, just like, make it go right. Make it go right. And so she tried again to gently say, like, listen, I think something's really wrong with me. I need to go to the doctor. And again, she was just totally like brushed off. And she stood up. Okay. This is like a little 5'3", very petite woman. She stood up and she yells at all of us in this department. Now, the department is filled with, like, at the time, I think I was like 20. So we're all like young 20 something kids. She says, my uterus is falling out of my vagina and I need to see someone about it. And we were all like, and I I thought to myself, like, that can happen. Like, my uterus could just come out of my body. Oh my God. And I started like when you feel someone's pain and you just feel like that feeling in your body.
Yeah.
I started feeling that and I was just like, oh my God, like that's really bad. Right. Yeah. And so then the woman who was in charge of the department was like, okay, listen, Pat, stay behind. We'll talk about that after. Like we were all like, call 911. Like, like I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then now being on the outside world and being somebody, like, I had a hysterectomy in 2016, but like knowing that a prolapsed uterus is a real thing, that it can just, pop. But like she was walking around doing her job like that. Yeah. Just made to keep working no matter what, even with like, that could be life threatening. They don't care. Yeah. They don't care. So this guy here talking about his teeth, most Sea Org members have terrible teeth. Like, we make jokes internationally about British people having bad teeth and stuff. It's like that, but worse, because British people at least have dental care, where they can fix that stuff up. Sea Org members don't have access to that ever. Okay. So I did this, and this is going to be the big part here. I did this without ever making it a problem. As I was aware that it was not possible for financial planning, FP, to cover such expenses, since there was much worse situations to take care of. I estimate to have spent roughly $3,000 US for this. Fuck. I've only kept one of the receipts from 2006, and I can attach it here as evidence for about $900. So he didn't even have all the receipts, but at least he has one.
Yeah. This person is very thorough when it comes.
Yeah, I love it. This is detailed. I definitely did not come to the Sea Org for free service. I know I have worked more than what I got, and I'm actually proud of it. Okay, so that's called, guys, that's called exchange in abundance. So if somebody says to you, I'd like you to polish this floor, instead of just polishing the floor, you also paint the walls. Yeah. That's called exchange number 4, exchange in abundance, right? So he's proud of his exchange in abundance, right? I've always put production over my enhancement. Okay, so that guy skipped a lot of study time. My study history is also very poor. There you go. And I have not done many courses in the Sea Org. Product 0 to 1. Those are the courses that you do right after you finish the EPF that gets you ready for whatever job you're going to do.
Yeah.
And volume 0 and the old student hat. I don't go proud of it, but this also shows that I don't fall under the definition of someone coming for free service.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is so, whoever this guy is just so sucked into Scientology and so sucked into the mission that it's like he got nothing, not even pay, probably totally shit food, probably not even regular uniform upgrades.
Yeah.
It's just like, but he left. So I don't know why he left. If he was, well, he said he got offloaded. So he's been there for 20 years. It's probably, my guess would be like a health solution, health condition thing, because they get rid of old people because they can't, it's a flap. It's a PR problem. Yeah. But
it could potentially be someone in their 20s leaving when they're 40. Like
that could be too. They could have gotten in when they were a teen and now they're 30 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So
based on the above data, I would like my freeloader bill to be reviewed, as it's not fair to me. I want this amount of the auditing to be canceled. If anything, I'm okay to pay for the basic courses. No, don't pay for anything. Wow, this is true. And then you have to put the okay, not okay, because somebody's going to check one of those. And then what does it say in attachments? Do you have that or no?
No, I don't have it.
So you attach the bill and his production record, and then and the dental bill. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really sad.
It's unbelievably sad, but it is so this is typical. When you leave the Sea Org, you are still in the mindset of like, I did a fucking good job and I don't deserve now to have to pay you back for things. This is the first part of leaving Scientology as a whole, where you try to negotiate your freeloader bill, right? So that you can keep your job and like have this money that you're having because you have all these other things, and they're pressuring you to buy stuff anyway, just to be like, well, you're a freeloader, so you got to like work on your amends. So you may as well buy this person, X, Y, or Z or whatever. Right.
Yeah. Much love. I mean,
much love.
Much love. Yeah.
Much love.
Yeah.
No.
So I kind of wanted to just publish it because there's all the time. I even had a talk with an old Scientologist today who was saying that this connection is just history and, it doesn't happen today anymore. And
bullshit.
And one thing they really like to say in Denmark is like, that's USA. That's not something.
Oh, that's just in the US. It's not here.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of, wanted to show this document and say, it happens everywhere. People are treated just as badly over here. It is just something that they keep on saying that that's in USA,
I mean, if Scientology wanted to improve their publicity worldwide, they would cancel freeloader debts and they would pay people back who paid those stupid fucking things. And they would just literally start paying people a fair wage. They say they can't pay more money because it's policy, right? Because L. Ron laid out this policy in 1970 that's the wage.
L. Ron doesn't know anything about inflation or what's the.
Thank you. He wasn't an economist, and additionally, in 1970, getting $50 a week, you could have rented an apartment.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah, it's so ridiculous that, you know, this 100 kroners, I mean, you can just about get a cup of coffee, but nothing to eat on the side, you know.
No, it should be, I mean, in today's world, honestly, it should be $500 a week if you're going to do, if you're like, and I get part of the argument from Scientology side, right? Like, especially in the Sea Org, like you have a place to live, you have a place to shower, we're providing you with a uniform, we're giving you 3 meals a day. That also costs money. Like, okay, like for example, though, before Celebrity Center bought up all the apartments around Celebrity Center, we lived at a building that at the time was called the Wilcox. Okay. And it was at the corner of Wilcox and Selma. This thing was the most cockroach infested, earthquake damaged building I've ever seen in my life. No central heating whatsoever, no air conditioning. They had a massive boiler for this, you know, building that if you didn't take a hot shower within the first 10 minutes of like everybody waking up, you had ice cold showers every time. So I spent years having ice cold showers in the day, in the night, in the winter, in the summer, all conditions. The windows that they had at the time were these like slotted windows, like a bunch of slots that were single pane. So even in the winter, when you would close them, it was just freezing cold air, rain would seep in, it was moldy. You know, you're sleeping on bunk beds that are from like World War II with like springs poking through. You got sheets. I don't even know where they got these sheets from. Who knows? You know, and you have like no personal space because you're in there with like 6 other people, 7 other people. Usually it was like 4 to 8 people in a room, depending on the size of the room. Some they could get more into. You know, and you had your little bathroom, but like I spent years after leaving the Sea Org checking my shoes for cockroaches. Okay. But because Celebrity Center owned that building outright, there was no landlord, there was no nothing. It cost 10 cents per night to house Sea Org members there. 10 cents per night. Okay.
Yeah.
The food, the way they got it, we had a budget of $2,000 a week to feed a total between the Celebrity Center and Manor, like 380 people. Okay. $2,000 a week to feed that. Now, the first thing that would get cut when they would do, you know, like we had a down week, because if we didn't make $125,000 per week, we weren't getting paid. That was the first thing gone, pay. Second thing that would start to go down would be our food. We'd all be on beans and rice. We'd all be on like just slop, oatmeal, beans and rice. That's it. For all the meals, and that's, you just have to deal with it, and you'd have no pay. So it wasn't even like you could go to McDonald's or something to like make up for that. But so they're spending, you know, and the uniforms were bullshit. They got them from a place. I would say per person per day, it costs $10 to have a Sea Org member. $10. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, when I can see when the sun is shining, you know, the pants are so worn out that, you know, they're like this shiny and a little bit see-through.
Yeah.
You can see that it's the only thing, you know, they have on all day, every day for years.
Oh, every day. And like you know, I've talked about this before. Like my wife didn't understand why I was always buying new shoes. Like my shoes would be, in my opinion, worn out, and I have to get rid of them. And I'm always like, every time I buy a new pair of shoes, guys, I buy all new socks. And so my wife was like, this is very extreme. This is like, And so I explained it on a live. I hadn't actually explained it to her because it was embarrassing to me. You know, and I want her to love me and like think I'm pretty. But in the Sea Org, like especially, they have very strict codes on what you can and can't wear. Like at first at Celebrity Center, we had skirts. So I had to wear a polyester skirt and pantyhose. Okay. Yeah. And so you can only afford so many pairs of pantyhose, guys, because those were not cheap. They're not providing you with the pantyhose, but you're required to wear them. And they give you 1 pair of shoes, one pair of dress shoes that you are wearing all day for 10 plus hours a day, sweating, because Celebrity Center, again, doesn't have proper AC, doesn't have really good heating. It's a fucking 17th century chateau, right? Like it's not, it's not a new building. So my feet because of the lack of like ability to change shoes on a daily basis and change, like, you know, I would wash my little pantyhose and wash my socks.
Yeah.
But like my feet became severely infected with like horrific athlete's foot that just smelled like so bad. And it was embarrassing because I'm dealing with celebrities. I was dealing, you know, with other people. It hurt. My feet were hurting all the time because I couldn't afford, you know, like the Tinactin or whatever, you know, to spray on there. So now if I feel that coming on, because that's something that like can ebb and flow depending on how much your feet sweat and things like that.
Yeah.
I throw my shoes away. I throw all the socks away. I get other socks. I'm like, you know, like treating my feet, like, you know, it just becomes like a nightmare. So it's like, you know, those kind of things, the reason why I bring that up, it's embarrassing or whatever, but the reason why I bring that up is like those kinds of things, that trauma to specific parts of your body, or like the lack of food, the lack of medical care, that stays with you after you leave the Sea Org. That doesn't just like you leave the Sea Org and you're like, all right, real life, woo, you know, and you just like, you think everything is suspicious. You don't, you know, you're like, I don't know about that. You know, like my first job out of the Sea Org was answering phones at a car donation place. People would call in and donate their car for charity.
Okay.
And my godfather owned this place, and that's kind of how, you know, nepotistically got the job. So I'm answering the phones, and I would like, you know, it would be like break time. So I would run to the bathroom, do a quick pee, grab a snack, because they gave us all these snacks in the snack room, grab a snack, shove it in my face, and sit back down within like 2 minutes. And then I'm like working, and then it was like lunchtime. So I would bring my lunch, and then I would just open my lunch and continue to eat and answer calls. And I was doing this for like the first 3 weeks that I was there. And finally my boss, Diana, like, she's like, hey, can you come see me in my office? And I'm like, well, what's going on? She's like, listen, I'm looking over your timesheet, and it looks like you haven't clocked out for any breaks or lunch. And I was like, oh yeah. No, I totally didn't need to. It's all good. You know, yeah, no, I'm fine. She was like, no. Like you have to clock out.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, wait, why? Why do I have? She's like, listen, it's the law. Like we can get audited by, all these departments, and we're going to get fined thousands of dollars if you're not taking your lunch and your break. And I was like, then I was like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, I'll clock out, you know, but like, I was like, well, I don't need to clock out for lunch. I'm perfectly fine eating while I'm talking. Right. And they were like, no, like it takes you a long time to learn that you have rights and privileges, that you can be in a work scenario and be like, yeah, I'm not okay with that, you know, and just say that. Like I used to write things to my bosses that were similar, like full CSW type stuff, just like so fucking detailed, just like, and they were like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
This is very detailed.
I heard this from Balazs, because he was in Elron Hapgold. He was in the Sea Org in Denmark, and kind of like, you need to do all your business on that half an hour break you get. And then depending on whether your superior is, being a dickhead or not, you know, it can impact your statistics if you need to go to the toilet, you know, outside your break time, basically. So you're getting minus points for every single thing. You know, if you get thirsty, you need to get something to drink or whatever. And and regarding the food, the SB chef Samuel, he was cooking for Saint Hill in UK. And he was telling about this situation.
I know. I heard his stories of like trying to zhuzh it up and like make it better. And then he got in trouble because it was too good.
Yeah,
right?
Because people like the beans and rice.
Right. Because you make them nice. But it's like, this is the thing, is that the lower echelons, the lower you are in the Sea Org, the shittier your life is supposed to be. Yeah. Right. Because you can only have the nice things if you're an executive, if you've reached this echelon. Like at Celebrity Center, we all ate in the same dining room. There wasn't like in the blue building, they have like a special CMO dining room for the messengers. And then they have like an executive dining room. At Celebrity Center, we all ate together, but there was an executive table. So they got served different food. Right. And it showed. Like, we'd be having, and one of my favorite meals that the chef Cliff used to make was like, he would make these like burrito enchilada things. I mean, it was just like literally beans and rice with salsa and then like fucking enchilada sauce on top and then a boatload of cheese. And we were just like, this is the best, you know, like it was hearty though, and it tasted good. So while we're having that, right? Meanwhile, the executive table is getting like fucking steak with fresh vegetables, with like, you know, sparkling water and shit. And we're like, fuck you, know, like we didn't get that shit. We didn't get cool stuff, you know, like it's just, it's very classist. It's very elitist. And for somebody like this person who wrote this document here, this is somebody who for 20 years, okay, did a complete peon job within the church, did it well to the point of having good statistics, of having accolades given to them throughout that time. And in 20 years, received what new people do within a month.
Yeah.
Who are paid public. That is gross.
Yeah, and going back to that, I'm trying to like really think what was going on in this person's head, because it must be a really bad situation also to get this kind of freeloader bill when you've been 20 years in the Sea Org. You don't have the money to pay anything like that.
No, you've never had any other kind of job. You don't fucking know. So to get that was like, he thought what he's thinking and what he's saying in his wording is that someone thinks that he was out exchange, that he was a bad person, that he wasn't working hard. So like his whole petition is like, I was a hard worker. Right. And I'm not even going to blame the people who didn't pay us the right pay. Like I got it, but like I deserve it because I put in the effort. And they're going to look at that. The viewpoint of the person receiving that, the international justice chief is going to be like, you're a freeloader. You're an ex-Sea Org member. There's a policy. I have to find it. And the policy simply states that any ex-SO member is a degraded being. No matter why you leave the Sea Org. You are, boom, classified, degraded being. Even if you pay your freeloader debt. Degraded being. That is your status for the rest of your career in Scientology because you left the Sea organization.
Yeah. But how do you justify in your mind? Because this person is saying like, yeah, I can understand we didn't have money for this and this. At the same time, they are attending these events where they're told that they're growing and growing all the time.
They believe the Kool-Aid. The events for a staff member, right, are the one time where you can relax. You get to wear your upstat regular clothes most of the time. There's some good food because you have to feed the public that come, right? So people like stuff their face with shit. Okay. And the time that you get to sit during the event, even though you're watching this propaganda, right? That is time you don't have to work. Your only job at that moment is to sit quietly, stand and clap at all the appropriate times, and look happy. And that's it. So for a staff member, also it's times like, especially for somebody who works at like that level, who works at like a CLO, you're going to see your friends from the other organizations that you haven't seen in a while because you're all going to be in one place. So it's kind of like a little teeny tiny like reunion, you know, and then it's late too, right? It's a late night. You're staying up late. You're hanging out with these people. Maybe you guys decide not to take the bus back. You guys just like, oh, we're going to walk back. We're okay. And so you have like all this extra time. Oh, there's a pizza place over here. We're going to go have some pizza. Like you make like a thing out of it where you get just some sort of like other enjoyment out of the propaganda time. And also it's highly hypnotic, those events where you go and especially the standing and clapping and the hip hip hooray. All of that is like, I would classify it like a Manchurian Candidate thing, right? Do you know have you read The Manchurian Candidate or know that story? Okay. So The Manchurian Candidate was a book. They turned it into several movies anyway. About a CIA deep programming thing where they basically brainwash somebody, but program in a keyword that then turns on this whole like secret mission that's in their brain, right? So in this in this story, the Manchurian Candidate ends up being the president, and now he has to go kill somebody. right? But they call him, and then they give him, like the secret word, whatever the secret word or phrase is, right? And then that turns on his automatic mission, right?
Okay.
And it's the same thing when you go to events, right? And they give you these key phrases over and over and over, and then you're made to clap, salute to Ron, hip hip hooray, and all those things are like the Manchurian Candidate trigger words for you to be like, Scientology is good. Look at our expansion. We are helping the planet. Everything is wonderful. My purpose is to be here. Like, because you see supposed great acts and you think, oh, I'm actually doing something good, right? Yeah. You have to convince yourself that these statistics and this bullshit that you're seeing is real, because also you're not allowed to look at anything else. You have no televisions, you have no newspapers, you're not listening to podcasts, you're not allowed to do any of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's how they do that.
Okay. Good. I just started to think about Zoolander. Wasn't there something similar?
Yes. Mugatu. Yeah. Similar. Yeah. They made Zoolander into a Manchurian Candidate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. You got it.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. I'm just looking if there's any questions here. Fluffer is asking, so if you owe sign, so it's out of exchange, but if you go above and beyond payment, then it's exchange in abundance.
Correct. But they never pay you exchange in abundance.
You can always hope to get that,
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think this is so if it's exchanged in abundance, that is making them out ethics,
right? Because the other person's out exchange with you. If you're doing that all the time, like if you have that one friend that's like always bringing you groceries, and like, oh, I've got this, they're always paying for that, right? And then you always feel like shit. You're just like, Jesus, like, I don't feel comfortable letting you pay for me every time. Oh no, I got it. Right.
Yeah. Did you have issue with that after leaving?
Oh God, I would always take care of everybody's shit. Even when I was broke as shit, I'd fucking overdraft my bank account. Just be like, I got it. Like, because you have to constantly be exchanging abundance, Yeah.
Okay. Irish Smart is saying it shows that the indoctrination shuts ones off critical thinking. Well, yeah, we know kind of that. Yeah.
Yes.
No one who's able to give informed consent would agree to these horrific conditions. Yeah.
Correct.
And for 20 years. I mean,
I know people who have been there longer than that. I know people who have been there, 50 plus years.
Yeah.
That are still there. That I would, Wendy Poulin, if you're watching, honey, I love you. Come see me.
Yeah.
She was my boss. I loved her so much. I don't know where she is. I would love to know if she's still alive, if she's okay.
I mean, I see a guy at the AOSH EU. He's, his body shape reminds me of Quasimodo, and he's just moving boxes between the Scientology hotel and the AO all day long. That's his only work, and it's just sad to see. But what can you do?
That's frightening. That's awful. Yeah. I hate that. I hate seeing and Scotty keeps seeing this same person over and over and over again. Like that's this woman who's just like, she's totally bent over her little like walker thing.
Yeah. Is it the one? There's two. There's one who's a little bit bigger lady, and then
the bigger lady is the one I'm talking about. And I've seen her now so many times, and she just walks from AO at the end of the day. Hi, Serge.
Hello.
Love you. She walks from AOLA across the street to the little apartment building there. And like, I don't know if she's an actual like public, or if she's just like, like if they're putting a lot of SEERG members in regular clothes now, because they don't want people to point at them and be like, you can leave anytime, like they just want people to think that it's like regular people. I think the few people that are still wearing the SEERG uniforms are like the people in the reception area. So like if a new person walks in, they see like a proper thing, but I don't think they're having them all wear that.
Appearances for the public as well. It's it's mainly for the public, right? They need to show. You need to go, right?
I need to go. I was just checking on my kid. He hasn't started walking across the street. Because the school is very close to it. Okay. But I gotta take him to a doctor's appointment, because that's mom shit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you have children's?
No, I don't have. I only have 2 hairy puppies.
Oh, good job. Good job. Yeah. Listen, I say that, but like I love my kids, but you know what? We got 4 children's. And it's a lot of children's, and they're never ever leaving. They're all just here, and it's like I would like to have quiet.
Yeah. One day it will happen. One day.
And we have 2 dogs also, so it's a lot. It's a lot of things and people. Miriam, I want to say I love everything you're doing in Denmark right now. It is so vital. It is so important. I know you tell people all the time, but I'm going to tell people, go to sbtv.space. Okay. Open that up and go to, it's the middle part. What does it say?
It's the Denmark list.
Yeah, but you have to open up something else first.
Resources.
So you go to resources. It's right there in the middle. Okay. And go there and then, there we go. To the resources and then drop down to, there's a password on that now. What's happening? Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. Yeah. So the resources, and then there's in the calls to action. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on, and then you can go down to. Why did it open this up? I feel like this is different. But anyway, there's a space.
I think they're working on the site right now. They're making.
Fluffer, are you making this different as I'm talking?
there's something going on right now. But anyways,
yes. But go there. There's forms you can fill out in English or Danish to write to. Who does it go to? It goes to like the council members or the government officials.
It's the members of the parliament. So the whole government, ministers, and the elected parliament members. I don't know what you call them in US. It's
Congress. It would be like Congress here.
Yeah, exactly. But I've been getting involved with the US politics also now. I'm regularly calling the LAPD police commissioners meeting, and I'm calling the public works a couple of times a week.
Mona has a lot of stuff laid out on things you can do here in the US to fight back. You guys are making tremendous inroads though. In Denmark, I have to say, especially with the publication, and I'm going to say his name wrong. Can you
Robert Dam? Thank
you, Robert Dam's book.
Yes,
which fingers crossed gets translated into English soon, so that we can get it, to more countries.
In the spring. So in the spring, it's going to be translated into English, and then in the summer. Jamie Mustard's own personal story will come out as well.
That's right. Well, that's not, I mean, it hasn't even been publicized yet because it's not being released by the publisher until the spring. And we're already getting a lot of buzz on Jamie's book, which is going to be amazing. Go ahead and pre-order that on Amazon. That's going to be available worldwide once they release it. I believe it's like in March or April. I can't remember.
I thought it was in the summer first, but
Oh, maybe then. Maybe I don't know. I'm not a publisher. I don't know these things. What do I know? But yeah, no, it's very exciting. I mean, the more and more people that come out, the more and more people that are getting educated and protesting, and also, like I said this to the US protesters when I had Danny on, please, Miriam, please be safe out there. Please make sure you're going, with another person so you guys can watch each other's back and front and all the sides, because as things progress, as we keep bringing attention, as we keep getting documents like this, they are going to escalate. They're going to escalate their tactics.
Yeah, this is the first one I'm showing now. I got some other stuff as well, and I've been kind of waiting with it, but I think it's the right time to
keep putting it out there. Keep telling people. I love the way you're educating people on the street about it. I think it's absolutely fabulous. Please keep doing it as long as you want. But definitely be safe. For sure.
I had a lot of fun today. There's been these amazing Christmas anti-Scientology songs made. So go and check out my live from a couple of hours ago, everyone.
I love it.
A lot of fun. Rika has made her own. She's singing herself, and then we got some AI songs as well. But they're all amazing.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for coming on, and we'll talk again soon, I think.
Yes.
Yes, let's stay in touch.
Okay.
Good. Bye. And bye everyone else. Thank you for watching. And all the usual stuff. I'm getting confused now.
Subscribe, like the stream. All that stuff.
I'm not a professional. Thank you.
Be a member. Get a membership if you don't have a membership. There we go.
Thank you. And see you tomorrow when I talk to Audit LA.
Yes.
Same time tomorrow. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for coming. Bye.